Brooklyn Independent Television.
As the Catholic Church adapts to shifting community demographics, other churches are springing up to serve others who may feel completely abandoned by organized religion. At one Williamsburg church, the service is in a bar, the minister tattooed, and the worshipers looking for their own personal revolution.
When you mention religion in Williamsburg, it's usually the Satmar Hasidim who come to mind. With their distinctive dress and facial hair, some 45,000 Hasidim call Williamsburg home. But there is another religious group in Williamsburg, and although their numbers are not as large, they are just as distinctive in their style of dress and worship. This is Revolution NYC, a self-described church for people who have given up on church. People like Daphne.
It's hard to find places to just be yourself and worship that, or any place really that isn't a bar or a club or something like that, you know, that's specific to hanging out and being transgendered, you know.
Revolution is not a transgender church, or a gay one, or even a straight one for that matter. Here, the message seems to be about loving God by loving each other.
Did you hear that? Jesus phrases the prayer so that God's forgiveness is linked to our own willingness to forgive others in order to make mutual love a Christian duty.
Jay Bakker is the pastor at Revolution NYC and believes it's his Christian duty to usher in a new era of understanding.
People also have used the Bible for segregation and racism and sexism and all these different things, and so this is hopefully taking another stand in the right direction and helping say, hey, love your neighbor as yourself, the golden rule, treat others how you'd want to be treated.
It's a message that seems to be catching on.
I first heard about Revolution about almost 7 years ago when they were back in Atlanta. And I would follow up on the sermons and the messages on podcasts. For
Jay, a virtual congregation is nothing strange. Some might even say it's the family business.
They were television evangelists, and at that time, Christian television was huge. I think it's definitely lost a lot of its influence and followers. I also think the Christian right was very strong at that time, and obviously I feel like their influence is fading.
Since 2006, Jim and Tammy Faye's son has been ministering from a Williamsburg bar, not a TV studio.
That's just not what we're looking for. We're really happy with Pete's Candy Store. We really love Brooklyn. I just have always felt like, meeting people where they're at is the best part, best thing to do. I'm not saying that God doesn't use television or big stages or things like that, but for us, that's just not where we're at.
Jay's opposition to sexism and homophobia in the church have attracted followers as well as criticism.
I'm going to speak up as long as there's injustice. And I don't care if, it's cost me money, it's cost me friendships, I had to let my whole staff go at one time because we couldn't do it anymore because people backed out. But the fact is I think it's more important to follow your convictions than it is to follow the dollar, and I don't want to compromise.
With an uncompromising message of grace, the Church for People Who've Given Up on Church is looking toward the future.
If we're going to keep the church relevant, we just have to follow Christ. Showing the love of Christ, showing the grace of Christ, loving people when they don't love you back, being true to what the gospel actually says is a very revolutionary thing.
For Brooklyn Review, I'm Brian Vines.
Follow us on Twitter at BK Independent TV.